Growing up with my dad, his main priority was always to give us the best that he could and make sure that he could provide for us the best clothes, the best home, and the best education. He was strict, and I remember many times getting in trouble and things like that, but it was something that has helped me become who I am today. And he was a great example of work ethic and leadership and just giving back to people and giving back to the community. My dad was the type of man that I think he didn't like to talk about death or life after or what would happen if he were to pass away. I think it's very common in our Hispanic culture that we don't talk about those things. We don't talk about money. We don't talk about what's going to happen after that. The day that I found out my dad passed away, I was at a company event. And I got a phone call from my mom saying that she just found out my dad had gone to the hospital. I remember being on the phone, and my mom and my sister had just walked in. They were with the doctor and the social worker, and she said he didn't make it. And I was about 3 to 4 hours away, and the fact that I couldn't be there was excruciating, and I didn't know what to do. And not being able to have that person hurts the most, because I think we take for granted when they are here, and you never expect to be that person that your family's gonna pass away. I always thought that I was always gonna have my dad forever. I never thought I was going to be that person who was going to lose her family. We were, I guess you could say, shopping around for the right location. When you go to these places to find out, well, how much is a burial going to cost? How much is a mortuary going to cost? Everything is cash. Everything is right now. You can put it on 10 different credit cards, 5 different credit cards, but you need the money now. There's no layaway. There's no pay me later. You cannot finance final expenses. When we found out the amount of money that we needed to bury my dad, it was pretty astonishing, because we had to figure out where we were going to get $15,000 from, and that's just for basic burial expenses, nothing fancy. We put a lot of those boxes together. You see a lot of people, especially in our Hispanic culture, we're doing a car wash, or there's boxes at donut shops, or a little Hispanic shop that sell food. That's what we had to do. And I think that was the most difficult thing for me to do, because I never thought that was going to be me. I never thought I was going to have to cut out my dad's picture and put it on a box and ask people for money. That's never what I pictured his death to be like. There's always a God that just is always there to give you what you need when you need it. Because people just kept coming over to our house. People that my dad had not seen for years that came and they said, hey, I remember your dad. Here's some money. I found out my dad had life insurance 2 weeks after he passed away, and I wasn't sure whether it was going to pay out or not, and that's why we had to ask for money, borrow money. I believe it was about a month and a half, maybe 2 months after he passed away, that my mom received a check. And that was a relief, because we were able to pay back the money that people had let us borrow in advance. And I think it gave some security for my mom that she didn't have to go work right away. My dad was 55. I thought he was going to live till, he was 80, 100. As much as anybody doesn't want to talk about it, especially in our culture, I think that is probably the most important thing you want to talk about. Bills still keep on coming. Life doesn't stop. Life keeps on going. Your electricity bill will still keep coming. Your gas bill will still keep coming. It doesn't matter whether the breadwinner passed away. One of the things that I will never forget that my dad always taught me, and I can always remember, and I'll remember for the rest of my life, is when you give somebody give, there's more blessing in giving to somebody who can't give you back than somebody who can.